an opportunity for Amaral, and she is fouled from behind, and so Pacific will have their first 6-on-5 opportunity, and now a 30-second timeout called by Pacific. Pacific, coming into the season, they've won 3 straight Golden Coast Conference championships. They've made the last 3 NCAA tournaments. Of course, last season, Pacific reached the quarterfinals where they lost to Stanford. And a one-touch shot there from Falvey goes wide. Of course, during the men's season, the men's team reached the national championship game here at Chris Kelton Pool where they lost to Stanford, and the women's national championship will also be decided here at Chris Kelton Pool. And a nice pass there, and draws an exclusion inside 5 meters. Seawolves quickly had shot it in, but they're going to pull it back. And so a second chance for a 6-on-5 opportunity here for Sonoma State. Just over 5 minutes to go here in this first quarter. 1-0 Pacific. Seawolves having trouble getting a good look here, continuing to work it around the perimeter, back to full strength, and that shot finds its way in. A goal there from Jordan Williams. Her team-leading 5th goal of the season for the graduate student from Santa Barbara. Williams and Munt came into today tied for the team lead with 4 goals apiece, and Williams with the goal there. Not a 6-on-5 goal, but a goal nonetheless to tie it up at 1. Mentioned Pacific, multiple players missing this season because of the Olympics, including several of their top goal scorers, including Kara Christmas, Mariana Duarte, among others. And then, of course, Bull Pesey, who started all 27 games in goal for Pacific last season, she will miss this year as well. So opportunity for some players this season to step up as the exclusion called there, and Pacific with another 6-on-5 opportunity here with 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. There's Cameron Lucero with it on the near side. Working around the perimeter. That skip shot finds its way in. And we're going to have to check who is wearing 24. Somebody had a cap change because we don't have a 24 on our roster. Either way, the 6-on-5 goal for Pacific. And it's now 2-1 Tigers. Mentioned Christmas and Duarte, the others. Torre Tomas, Truly Dorland. Also missing this season because of the Olympics. 15 on the shot clock for the Seawolves. Tigers leading returning goal scorer is Savannah Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald got the scoring going here this afternoon as she scored on the opening possession. Fitzgerald had 36 goals last season, already with the one here just midway through the first quarter. A 2-1 Pacific lead. And there's an equalizer. So Haley Gellert with her first goal of the season. The junior from Santa Barbara, and ties it up at 2. Talking with head coach James Graham before this match, it'll be an interesting season. Obviously, with the 5 players gone, they have just the 1 freshman because couldn't really bring in a lot of players because they've got all those scholarships tied up. So last 2 seasons, Pacific went undefeated in Golden Coast Conference play. He kind of expects this season to be a little bit tougher. In fact, last season the Tigers didn't trail us for a single second in conference play. Tigers again were projected to finish in first. And now we're going to have a timeout called as the Seawolves will have a 6-on-5 opportunity and an early chance to try to take the lead. Finally got an update on the Tigers' last goal. Wearing the 24 cap is 20 on your roster, Natalie Hosmer. So the junior from Stockton had the goal to put the Tigers in front. Of course, then Haley Gellert, the goal to tie it at 2 here just past the midway point of the first quarter, and an opportunity for Sonoma State on the 6-on-5 to try to take the lead. They are 2 for 3. And another exclusion, and so it'll be a 6-on-4. Creeping closer across, and that is a nice save from Pfaff. Lucy Davis also right there as well. So the 6-on-4 opportunity for the Seawolves goes by unsuccessful, and a long outlet pass up to Amaral. Tough angle, looking for the shot, and she fires that one over the top. Could not ask for a better afternoon. In fact, the sun at times kind of setting off to our left, kind of far side behind the Tiger goal, and kind of back, was hidden behind a cloud, now has come out and making quite the glare. Has to be low 60s, really. Could not ask for nicer weather, and there's a goal for the Seawolves. And it's Jordan Williams once again. So Williams now with 2 of the 3 goals for the Seawolves, and a surprising early lead for Sonoma State. Mentioned the Seawolves. They lost to San Jose State 21-7 and to Stanford 18-6. And right now, it's the Seawolves with a 3-2 lead after back-to-back goals from Gellert and Williams with her second. Davis, closely guarded by Hellickson. Now in a 5-meter, there's a nice turn, and then the equalizer, Savannah Fitzgerald once again. Fitzgerald, her second goal, and a beautiful job there. Taking the pass from Lucy Davis, I believe, and then turning into 5 meters, and really an easy goal for her, not going to miss. Sullivan a little bit late trying to come up and get to the ball, and an easy goal there for Fitzgerald to tie it at 3. Just under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Pacific will head to Michigan this weekend. They'll face UCLA, Marist, Michigan, and Indiana. And offensive will give it back to Pacific. And then the Tigers will be back here at Chris Kelton Pool on February 8th to take on Cal, and the foul there will give it back to the Seawolves. Shot there from long range, pulled down by Pfaff. Coach Graham hollering to find Sav, and there's Fitzgerald. What a shot. As she goes near post, and it goes across the goal and into the far side netting. So, I beg your pardon, Lucy Davis. The sophomore from Canada. Davis last season played in 26 of 27 games and had just 7 goals, but a goal here to put the Tigers back in front. So after trailing 3-2, Pacific back-to-back goals and a 4-3 lead here under a minute to go in this first quarter. Erickson looking for somebody to get it to. Tigers playing tough defense. Shot clock still 10 seconds. And able to get inside, and nice job there by Pfaff to make the save. Erickson did a great job to get it inside 5 meters, and then Pfaff denies her. And Pacific has 20 seconds to try to add to their lead. Fitzgerald gives it up, now gets it back. And what a shot into the far side netting. Great touch shot there, just over the goalie's hands and into the far corner. So the hat trick for Fitzgerald here in the first quarter. And it's 5-3 Pacific with 13 seconds to go. Hellickson with it. Sanchez swam out to guard her. Now here's Russell Sadoff with it. And it sounds like they're going to just dump it, although she'll throw it in front of goal. And that's a great look and a great save there by Samantha Pfaff to keep the margin at 2. So after a quarter of play, Pacific with the 5-3 lead. We'll take a break and be back here from Chris Kelton Pool. Welcome back to Chris Kelton Pool as we get set for the second quarter. Pacific with a 5-3 lead after 8 minutes of play over Sonoma State. Seawolves actually had a 3-2 lead before Pacific ended the quarter with 3 straight goals. 3 of the Tigers' 5 goals in that opening quarter coming from the junior Savannah Fitzgerald, the others from Hosmer and Davis. Meanwhile, Jordan Williams with 2 goals for Sonoma State and 1 for Haley Gellert as getting set to start the second quarter. Season opener for Pacific. We come into the season ranked number 9 in the nation. Tigers were unanimously picked to win the Golden Coast Conference for the 4th consecutive year. Of course, Tigers have won it the last 3 years. Last year, they did not trail for a single second in conference play. And they've won 21 straight in GCC play, although this season might be a little bit tougher. James Graham was also the conference coach of the year last year. And said he still fully expects his team to win the conference, although might not be as easy as it was last year, as the opening sprint of the quarter again won by Pacific. So Pacific has won both sprints. Last time Pacific took the sprint and took about 18 seconds before Fitzgerald found the goal. And a ball under there will give it to the Seawolves. Sullivan over to Gellert. Gellert has one of the 3 goals for the Seawolves. Cross pass there to Erickson. Draws a whistle. Shot clock under 10. And another save there for Samantha Pfaff, who was credited with 5 saves in the first quarter. The redshirt senior making just her 2nd start of her career, and she will get more than her fair share of time this season, as she is the only goalie on the Tiger roster. Whistle there. Tigers go back up top, and that pass from Contreras kind of just slips out of her hand. Erickson over to Gellert. Back to Gellert, looking for the shot. Instead, we'll give it back up. And now Gellert again. Seconds left on the shot clock, and the dump down low, and a takeaway there while the shot clock was about to expire as well. Pfaff with the outlet to Hosmer, and has a goal. And a exclusion call there as Tula Falvey down at the 5-meter line got the pass and drew the exclusion, so a 6-on-5 opportunity for Pacific. Not quite 2 minutes in to the second quarter. Pacific 0 for 2 in the first quarter on the 6-on-5. Seawolves were 2 for 4 on their 6-on-5s. 5-3 lead for Pacific. And a chance to add to it here on the 6-on-5. Mentioned Pfaff now with 6 saves. Brooke Sullivan in goal for the Seals, still looking for her first. Of course, the Pacific men's water polo team this past season reached the national championship game, which was played here at Chris Kelton Pool, losing to Stanford in the championship game. The women's national championship game will be here at Chris Kelton Pool as well. The Tigers have made the last 3 NCAA tournaments. And 2 out of the 3, they had their seasons end against the Cardinal, including last year in the quarterfinal. So a 6-on-5 here for Pacific. Quick passing here around the perimeter, now over to the far side. Utes. Lucero had it kind of slip off her hands. She chases it back down. Cross pull pass. Now back up top to Utes. She shoots and scores. So Brianna Utes, the sophomore from Canada, with her first goal of the season. The Tigers successful on the 6-on-5. And the lead now is 6-3 with 5:42 to go here in the first half. Utes last season had 15 goals, 5 assists. And she gets her first goal there on the 6-on-5. Tough defense played by Falvey against Gellert. As Gellert's still backtracking, trying to find somebody to get the ball to, and now does to Munt. Munt draws some contact, and nice job there by Casey Munt to score her 5th goal of the season. And she was battling and was able to get past a Tiger defender and then able to get it past Pfaff and into the goal. So Munt, the redshirt senior from San Marcos, with her first goal, and that snaps a 4-0 Tiger run. Davis looks like she was going to try to take the shot, the lefty, and just kind of had it slip off her hands. We've seen that a few times here in this first half. Hellickson, Gellert, creeping forward now over to Hephill. Shot clock under 10. Hellickson gives it up to Gellert. She shoots. And Pfaff with another save. Tigers look to quickly come the other way. Fitzgerald over to Davis. Amaral shoots. And she's got her first goal of the season. So Ana Martinez do Amaral, the sophomore from Sao Paulo, Brazil, with her first goal. She had 8 goals last season as a freshman. I mentioned a lot of Tigers are going to have opportunities to step up this season. And Christmas led the way last season with 71 goals. She is off to play for Team Canada. Duarte, 44 goals, was 3rd on the team last year. She, of course, with Team Brazil. And then Zamotic, of course, was a senior. You know, the top 3 goal scorers from last season all gone in one way or the other. And that's Savannah Fitzgerald, who was 4th last season with 36 goals, back as the team's leading goal scorer this year. And, of course, we've seen her score 3 goals already. And here's a chance for Davis. And she fires that one over the top. Sullivan with a nice long pass there to Hellickson. Hellickson shoots. And another save there by Pfaff. Now the chase for the rebound. And possession will go to Pacific. The whistle there against Hellickson. Quickly the other way. And once again, Falvey Draws the whistle, and she gets it back, and she scores. Nice job there by Tula Falvey to get the goal. She drew the whistle, then kicked it back to Fitzgerald, who then just handed it right back to her pretty much. And an easy tap-in goal for Falvey, the sophomore from Nevada, with her first goal. Falvey was one of 9 Tigers to score at least 15 goals last season. And she had exactly that, 15 goals last season, as did Utes. They both had 15 goals, and they've had the last 2 goals for Pacific, as the Tigers now lead 8-4 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Munt, closely guarded by Mile, backtracking past center pool. Shot clock down to 5. Let's see if the Seawolves take a shot or if they just dump it in the corner, and it's the dump into the corner it is. Mile with some room. Ted goes here to the near side to Lucero. That pass a little behind Mile. Actually, now it's Mile with it. Into 5 meters. And again, Falvey draws a whistle against her. And unlucky there off the post. As Cameron Williams drawing the woodwork. Seen a couple shots by the Tigers hit the near post. And an exclusion called. And another 6-on-5 opportunity for the Seawolves, who have gone about 8 minutes, I want to say, at least without a goal. And a 6-on-5 opportunity goes by without a shot. The turnover. 2 of their 3 goals have come on the 6-on-5. The chance here for Lucero. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. And ends up a soft pass right in the hands of the Seawolves goalkeeper, Sullivan, and she kind of smiled. I think it, again, just slipped off her hands. Tried to finesse it over the top and just slipped right off her hand and to the goalkeeper. The easiest save Sullivan's going to get. Also there against Amaral. Shot clock down to 10, under a minute to go here in the half. And again, an empty possession for Sonoma State. It was 5-3 after a quarter. Now 8-4, and a chance for Pacific to add to it, and they do. Savannah Fitzgerald. Actually 16, Brooke Contreras. 5 and 6 sometimes look so similar, but nice job sharing the ball there, finding Contreras all alone just outside the 5-meter line. An easy goal for her, the junior from Whittier. Contreras last season had 4 goals, and a goal for her here. About a 6-second difference between shot clock and game clock. That's a nice pass into the 5-meter. And it's going to draw an exclusion. So 5-meter penalty for the Seawolves. And it'll be like number 11 taking the shot. And she's denied. I was going to say, I'm not sure who 11 is, we don't have an 11 on our roster, but it doesn't matter, as big save there for Fast. She's had some nice saves here in this opening half, and that long-range shot easily knocked down by Sullivan, and that'll do it for the first half. And through one half of play, it's Pacific 9 and Sonoma State 4. We'll take a break and be back with the second half here from Chris Kelton-Poole.
My name is Brinley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous, and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? You know, what's the academics like? And the first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never stepped foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
Chose UOP because of the small classroom sizes. I love the idea of the professors, you know, the old slogan, they know who you are, they know your name, and it's more of a friendly, more relaxed atmosphere.
I've loved all the different people that I've been able to meet, people from different backgrounds, from different areas, different countries. Definitely come from all over, and that's even going to influence like where you go to eat on a Friday night or whatever. So like all the different food choices, and then Stockton provides a lot of opportunities for you to go and try new things.
I think Stockton has a very small community feel, and I think that translates over to UOP, how we have a small family environment here.
Also at Rebel Point, that's where they hold lots of festivals out there. This year they had the fireworks over there for 4th of July. It was really nice to go over there and see the city come together and hang out.
I can't imagine being anywhere else.
I think Stockton has a really bright future because of its people, because of the people that care. Something I learned about Stockton is that there are a lot of hidden gems around the city, and you really have to get out there and just put yourself out there and just explore a little with your friends.
Especially going to UOP, every single year you kind of get more and more of a sense of the city that you live in. It's kind of excessively friendly with the people that I've actually stopped to like talk to and have interactions with. It's really friendly, and there are a lot of people just kind of hidden amongst the ranks that really want to make the city a better place, which I think is actually pretty unique.
I think it's a very personal decision where you decide to go to college and spend those 4 years of your life. At Pacific, you know you'll get a great education but you'll also have a really good time. You'll be a part of a really strong and thriving community.
Welcome back to Chris Kelton Pool as we get set for the second half between the Pacific Tigers and the Sonoma State Seawolves. Your score after one half of play, the Tigers leading the Seawolves 9-4, the season opener for Pacific before they will head to Michigan this weekend for 4 games. In that first half, Samantha Pfaff with 9 saves in goal for Pacific, including one on a 5-meter penalty. Meanwhile, Brooke Sullivan in goal for the Seawolves, credited with 2 saves in the opening 16 minutes of play. And once again, the Tigers will have the opening possession of the quarter, as the Tigers have now won all 3 sprints. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, and that pass into the 5-meter to Falvey draws an exclusion, so a 6-on-5 opportunity for Pacific, just their 4th of the day. Tigers 1 for 3 on the 6-on-5 in the first half. Working it around the perimeter, and then the goal there for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald with her 4th goal. Gerald had a hat trick just in the first half. In fact, opening possession of the game, Fitzgerald scored to start the first quarter, and here she scores on the opening possession of the third quarter. As Pacific now with a 10-4 lead, as Sonoma State, a little past midway through the first quarter, actually led 3-2, but since then it's been an 8-1 Tiger run. Turnover there, we'll give it back to Pacific, as the Tigers defense has really started to make things difficult for Sonoma State to even get off shots. And when they have, Samantha Pfaff has come up big with some nice saves, and no chance for her there. Morgan Jones with her 2nd goal of the season, the junior from Roseville. And that turned into a 2-on goalie for the Seawolves, and no chance for Pfaff there. Utes is battling with Helix in there and drew the whistle. Now Utes gets it back. Amaral. And that shot from Contreras. Sullivan, the long pass to Jones. And now the exclusion called on Utes. And I sure didn't see a whole lot there. She has a big smile on her face, kind of in disbelief that she was called for the exclusion there. So a 6-on-5 for Sonoma State. They've scored 2 of their 5 goals on the 6-on-5. They won't get a third, so now 2 for 6 on the power play is Sonoma State. Pacific 2 for 4. Pfaff was told to be brought back. Williams shoots and scores. Cameron Williams with her first goal. I beg your pardon, Cameron Lucero. I knew it was Cameron. So Lucero, the junior from Tracy, with her first goal. Cerro last season had just 2 goals, so we'll go for here in the season opener. Tigers now with 8 players that have scored at least a goal. And the only one with more than one is Savannah Fitzgerald with 4. And a whistle there against Pacific. And it's going to be a 5-meter penalty shot for Sonoma State. So the foul call there was against Contreras. And this time the Seals were able to convert. Morgan Jones. Coach James Graham up, not happy with that last call, as Morgan Jones now with 2 goals on the day. Jordan Williams also with 2, and then Munt and Gellert with 1 apiece for the 6 for Sonoma State. Exclusion there will give Pacific a 6-on-5. And the save there. And sounds like they've given a yellow card to James Graham. And we're starting to get a lot of whistles. And now a timeout called by the Seawolves after the exclusion called on Fitzgerald. So a 6-on-5 opportunity coming up here for the Seawolves. We're 2 for 6 on the power play. Pacific 2 for 4. Sullivan with 3 saves in goal for the Seawolves. Pfaff with 9. Pfaff last season played in just 9 matches, did not start a game, had a total of 20 saves all season, and she will way past that this season. As Pfaff, the lone goalkeeper on this Tigers roster, with the other Harville PC off to play for Canada. .447 to go here in the third. And finally the sun has found a spot behind the bleachers. It really couldn't have asked for a nicer day for the season opener. Had some bad rain earlier in the week, but you almost sit outside in a shorts and t-shirt. During this timeout, Pacific's basically just stayed over in front of the goal, while the Seawolves are still over here on this near side talking with their coach. Mentioned the Tigers this weekend will be in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where they'll play UCLA Marist, then the host Michigan, and then finish the 4 games over 2 days with a game against the Indiana Hoosiers. For the Tigers, then we'll have a week or so off before hosting Cal on February 8th, a 1 p.m. opening sprint. Oh no. Finally, we'll get back going here. And the 6-on-5 after the exclusion to Fitzgerald. Kabuzzi, cross pulled. And that shot Off of Pfaff and in. So Michaelia Thede, the junior from Livermore, was denied on a 5-meter penalty in the first half, but not denied there as she scores her first goal. And it's an 11-7 Pacific lead as we near the midway point of this third quarter. Coach James Graham hollering Natalie. That's Fitzgerald with it. And our long-range shot goes wide. And we're going to have an exclusion. I believe it was called on 7 Mutt. Or is that 8? Actually, looks like it's 8 Erickson on the exclusion. So possession will stay to the goal on our left, and it's 6-on-5 for Pacific. Fitzgerald shoots. And on that shot, a whistle also against Pacific. Here's Jones bringing it up. She has a pair of goals on the day. Looking towards goal. Now into 5-meter. Hellickson fired it in, but she'll have to grab that ball out of goal and pass it back out. So 6-on-5 after the exclusion of Amaral. A whistle and exclusion filled third quarter. That cross-pole pass went off of Hosmer's hands, and that skip shot saved by Pfaff. So Pfaff now with 10 saves on the day. And an unsuccessful 6-on-5 for the Seawolves. Gerald over to Davis. Over to the corner now, Falvey. And there's her second goal of the day. So the sophomore from Novato now with the pair of goals. And she's really caused all sorts of trouble for the Seawolves. Down inside 5 meters. So Falvey now with a pair of goals. And the lead back to 5. Tough man-to-man defense being applied here. Falvey backing up the Seal center pull, and now Davis has Gillard going backwards, and the shot clock's down to 8, and Seawolves are on their own half of the pool, and the whistle there will give it to Pacific. Davis. And that pass a little behind Amaral. She'll be able to chase it back down. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 15 on the timer. 2 minutes to go in that quarter. Falvey battling down low and hits the crossbar. And Coach James Graham asking the official here on this near side, how come that wasn't an exclusion? With all the whistles in this quarter, I'm surprised we didn't get one as well. And that's a beautiful pass. Jordan Williams now with the hat trick, and a beautiful pass from Alyssa Russell-Sadoff. So the junior from Magura sets up the graduate senior Jordan Williams. So Williams now with a hat trick. Came into today with 4 goals on the season, now with a team best 7. And the lead down to 4. With 1:40 to go here in the third. Gerald guarded closely by Erickson. Pass into the far corner. Looking for an angle to shoot now. Into the 5-meter, and the ball goes under and comes out into the hands of a white cap. Hellickson with some room. And now Amaral will head out and pass back out to the center, pulled to Gellert. Potts. Hellickson. And that shot was wide in the side netting, but on the wrong side of the pole. Davis. And that's a great pass. And there's one of the best saves we've seen here today for Brooke Sullivan as she denies Falvey from point-blank range. I believe that was Sullivan's 4th save, and a big one there, denying Falvey the hat trick. Shot clock's off, 12 seconds to go in the quarter. And then nice job on defense there by Lucero. Let's see if Pacific gets off one final shot or if they just hold on to it. Pfaff nowhere near challenging the goal, and so that will do it for the third quarter. Through 3 quarters, Pacific with the 12-8 lead. We'll take the break and be back with the fourth quarter here from Chris Kelton Pool.
My name is Brynley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? You know, what's the academics like? And the first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never set foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
Welcome back to Chris Kelton Pool as we get set for the final 8 minutes of play here between the number 9 ranked Pacific Tigers and the Sonoma State Seawolves. After 3 quarters, it is a 12-8 Tigers lead. The offense has been led by Savannah Fitzgerald with 4 goals, and right now the difference in this game is 4 goals. Meanwhile, Samantha Pfaff, 11 saves so far for Pacific through the first 3 quarters of play. Brooke Sullivan with 4 saves. Although that last one, a really impressive one, denying Falvey a chance for her 3rd goal of the day. Sun definitely starting to set. Lights are on, maybe taking a tiny bit of effect. Tigers have won all 3 sprints, and they once again win the sprint to start the 4th quarter, as that's Hosmer, the junior from Stockton, winning the sprint. So Pacific will have the first chance to score here in this 4th quarter. Pass into Falvey, surrounded by White Caps, but draws the exclusion, so a 6-on-5 chance for Pacific. Pacific just 2 for 4 on the power play. Sonoma State 2 for 7. And that shot somehow doesn't go in. Shot clock already under 10. And that pass, they're trying to get it into the 5-meter to Dieterle. And that pass was nowhere near connecting with her. As an empty possession there for the Seawolves. And another exclusion will give Pacific another 6-on-5. So the exclusion there called on Hellickson. And a timeout called by Pacific. So see what head coach James Graham draws up for the second 6-on-5 opportunity of this quarter already. Mentioned Pacific going to Michigan this weekend, then Tigers back home on February 8th against California. And then that's it as far as home games for the month of February. Is after that game against Cal, the Tigers a week later will head down and play in a tournament at UC Irvine, and then we'll have a week or so off before the start of Golden Coast Conference play on March 6th. So the one home game here in January, the one home game in February, but then a bunch of home games to start Golden Coast Conference play in the beginning of March. You've got March 6th, the Tigers will take on Azusa Pacific, and then the next afternoon, the Tigers will take on San Diego State, both GCC opponents. Then the next day, the Tigers will play host to UCLA. So at 6th, 7th, 8th weekend, it'll be a good one to set aside for some Pacific women's water polo. Azusa Pacific, San Diego State, and UCLA, and then the following weekend against Concordia Irvine. So the 4 straight home games there the early part of March. Tigers with just 8 home games all season. Of course, the Tigers will be hoping they can somehow find their way back here to Chris Kelton Pool at the end of the season for the NCAA tournament. So the 6-on-5 here for Pacific out of the timeout. A minute and a half into this final quarter of the season opener. Good patience here. And nice block there. Gellert helping out her goalkeeper, making the save. Called the timeout to set up that 6-on-5, but really wasn't a whole lot going on there. Just a lot of passing. around the perimeter, and then the easy block by Gellert. And that's a nice shot for the Seawolves. So Morgan Jones with the hat trick. So her third goal of the game cuts the lead to 3. Mentioned Fitzgerald, the lone Tiger. Actually, Falvey also with more than one goal. Falvey 2, Fitzgerald 4 to lead the way for Pacific. Williams now with the 3, and Morgan Jones with 2 to lead the way for the Seawolves. And that shot sails over the top from Davis. After she had given it to Falvey, and Falvey gave it back, and the bench was kind of hollering again. I think they wanted her to go back to Falvey. Instead, Davis takes the shot, and the left-hander fires it over the top. So Seawolves have a chance to cut into the lead some more, and there's another nice save from Samantha Pfaff. Pfaff, just her second start of her college career, the fifth-year senior, now with 12 saves and another 6-on-5 opportunity for Pacific. So their third opportunity with the 6-on-5 here in this fourth quarter. See if they can convert. Amaral, and that shot's well over the top. Mentioned a lot of goals from last year's team is not back. And at times the offense has struggled here today, and that's a nice job by Pfaff once again coming off her line this time to make the steal. So I believe that's her second steal of the game, and now that shot off the crossbar and down. And we're going to get a timeout called by Seawolves head coach Chelsea Hannon. So 4:10 to go, and still up in the air. I'm sure Sonoma State has to be pretty happy right now that with 4 minutes to go, they've still got a chance. As their 2 games to start the season were not close. A 21-7 loss to San Jose State, an 18-6 loss to Stanford, but they actually had a 3-2 lead in the first quarter and have come back here with a couple goals to cut the lead down to 3. Yeah, just the one goal here in this fourth quarter. That goal coming from Morgan Jones. Looking at some stats, Tigers have outshot the Seawolves by 5. Shooting percentage pretty similar, 429 to 391. Exclusions 8 to 7. Both sides 2 for 7 on the power play. Seawolves have had 2 5-meter penalty shots. They were able to convert on 1. And while it's not showing in the live stats, there was a yellow card issued earlier to James Graham. So 4:10 to go. See what Sonoma State does out of the timeout. Both sides still with a timeout remaining. See if Seawolves can find a goal here to really make things exciting over this final couple minutes. Tough defense there, and the whistle, and we'd gone a little while without an exclusion, and now a exclusion called on Fitzgerald. I believe that's her second. And a 6-on-5 opportunity for Sonoma State. 1 point, I believe they were 2 for 3 on the 6-on-5, so they've been unsuccessful on their last 4 with the player advantage. And unlucky there are the Sea Wolves, denied by the crossbar. And an offensive will give it back to Sonoma State. Erickson. Over to Williams. Now back out to Gellert. And the goal for Munt. Her second goal of the day. Her 6th goal of the season. And with 2:56 to go, it's a 2-goal game. Lucero tries to get it over to Davis. Now back to Lucero. Lucero looked like she was going to shoot. Decides to give it up. Amaral. Davis. And finally the Tigers are on the board here in this 4th quarter. So Lucy Davis with her 2nd goal of the day, and that was some good ball movement. Kind of seemed like Tigers have been a little lackluster, perhaps, on offense, but there was a little bit of urgency, some nice ball movement, and Lucy Davis fires in her 2nd goal of the day, and the Tigers lead back to 3 with 2:33 to go. Pressure applied to Gellert, and now she looks for Williams. Hosmer coming out to press. And again, Sea Wolves denied by the goal, but they get the rebound. Williams shoots, and the lead is down to 2 once again.
That's a goal for your Sea Wolves, number 7, Cassidy Munt.
Excuse me, Munt. So Munt now with the hat trick. So Munt and Williams with hat tricks, and the lead down to 2 with 2 minutes to go. Back over to Davis. Yeah, the Tigers' last goal. Working around up top now, down low, and it's a nice shot by Falvey and an even better save by Sullivan. 90 seconds to go. Gellert. And the save there by Pfaff. And that likely will clinch this win for the Tigers. I believe that was Williams on the shot, looking for her 4th goal of the day, instead denied by Pfaff, and Tigers in no rush, as they're more than content with this clock ticking away. 10 seconds. It'll be around 36 seconds when this shot clock goes off, and now they'll throw it down. And the shot clock violation there. And a timeout
That's a timeout for the Seawolves.
called by the Seawolves. So the final timeout called by Sonoma State with 36 seconds to go. So even if the Seawolves find a way to score here, they would need to find a way to somehow get the ball back and find an equalizer. Probably a little bit too much to ask in this final 36 seconds. So Pacific gonna open the season with a win, although probably a lot of people would be surprised that this game was as close as it was. Tigers this weekend will head to Michigan, and then we'll be back home on February 8th here for a 1 p.m. game against Cal. Hopefully you can join us for that one. A lot of sports going on here at Pacific. Tomorrow night, the men's basketball team takes on BYU, and not too far off from the start of baseball and softball season as the weather starts to warm up and we start to go from inside the Spano Center to outside. So, Tigers are playing some tough defense here as Thede had a tough time just giving it up, and there's the goal from Munt once again. So Cassidy Munt now with 4 goals on the day, 8 goals on the season, and it is a 1-goal game, but just 21 seconds remain. So the possession before the big save by Pfaff probably did clinch it, as right now the Tigers spread the pull, looking to just run off these final seconds. Now under 10, the whistle there. And even if Sonoma State gets it, there's no timeouts, and that will do it. So Pacific will open the season with the win, but much closer than probably anybody would have expected. As your final score, Pacific 13 and Sonoma State 12. Some stats here quickly before we wrap it up. Brooke Sullivan in goal for the Seawolves had 6 saves. Meanwhile, in goal for Pacific, Samantha Pfaff had 13 saves, including a save on a 5-meter. Good performance from her in her second start of her career. Offensively, Sonoma State was led by Munt with 4 goals, Williams with 3. And then Morgan Jones also with 3 goals. Thede with 1 and Gellert with 1 as well for the Seawolves. Meanwhile, for Pacific, Lucero, Amaral, Utes, Contreras, and Hosmer all a goal apiece. Falvey and Davis with 2 apiece. And then Savannah Fitzgerald had the hat trick just in the first quarter. She finished with 4 to lead the way for Pacific. So that will do it. Pacific opens the season with a 13-12 win, and they will now head to Michigan this weekend, and we'll be back home on February 8th to take on Cal. So for producer Michael Jr., I am Paul Meisen saying thank you for joining us. Your final score here once again from Chris Kelson Pool. Pacific opens the season with a 13-12 win. Have a good rest of your night.